Our first speaker this evening is a member of the class of 2016, Jake Hassel. Jake was chosen for the honor of speaking tonight by a committee of students on the basis of his proposal and his presentation. He is a senior from Lovett College, graduating with a degree in chemical and biomolecular engineering and a minor in computational and applied mathematics. While at Rice, he's been involved in a great many activities, including the campus ministries of Chi Alpha, the Rice Honor Council. He's been involved in O-Week advising, and he's been a member of Spontaneous Combustion. Please welcome to the podium, Jake Hassel.
To all the faculty, staff, friends, and family, good evening. It is an honor and blessing to be here before you all. To all my fellow graduates, congratulations, we made it. I'm sure that right now we're all experiencing in different ways just how incredible this day really is. If you would have told me 10 years ago that I would be graduating from Rice University, I wouldn't have believed you, mainly because at the time I didn't know that Rice University existed. 9 years ago, however, I learned about Rice after taking the SAT as part of the Duke TIP program, which is designed to excite youngsters about college. Because, as every seventh grader knows, there are few things quite as exciting as standardized testing. All joking aside, it was actually at that point that attending Rice University became my dream. Having dreamt about it so long ago, I'm awestruck to be here in this moment. It is truly a privilege to share this with all of you. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I am most passionate about two things. The first, and always first, is Jesus Christ, and the second is improvisational comedy, which is where comedians make up things on the spot while trying to be funny. I'm going to talk about improv right now because I don't think I'm allowed to do a sermon. So I would like to share with you all some improv wisdom that I believe will be relevant to us for the rest of our lives. I have three main points because in the world of comedy, it is said that jokes usually come in threes. And besides, any good sermon has three main points. Number one, make a choice. According to esteemed philosopher E40, everybody got choices. I choose to get money. I'm stuck to this bread. There is nothing more boring in improv than watching actors stand around unable to make a decision because they're just thinking. It's no fun to watch people think about doing something and then never actually do it. So, why is it so common? We refrain from making choices and taking steps of faith when we are afraid. Afraid to fail, to disappoint, to be criticized. And what's worse is most of the time, well, maybe not most of the time, but many times we fool ourselves into thinking our hesitation is wise. However, I would argue that the typical problem of Rice students is not that we don't think enough, but that we overthink, which then leads us to fear. What if there's a better choice? What if things don't work out the way I want them to? So what? We may have no idea what will happen next, but we also know that nothing will happen unless someone makes a choice. That is the excitement and reality of life. As we go from Rice, we should remember that we seldom have the luxury of knowing exactly how things are going to play out. However, instead of being overwhelmed by fear, indecision, and what could go wrong, let us dwell on what could go right, taking life as it comes and making changes as needed. We must not let our decisions be guided by fear, but rather by truth and by love. For me, this idea is captured in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. After all, while a ship might be safest in the harbor, that's not what ships are made for. Number two, yes and. You wouldn't think there would be rules when it comes to making things up, but apparently you'd be wrong. One of the cardinal rules of improv is the idea of yes and. As the great thinker Taylor Swift once said, "Baby, just say yes." There are no mistakes in improv, only happy accidents. Someone tripping as they walk on stage, God forbid, becomes a part of their character choice. Someone's voice unintentionally cracking becomes a conscious decision rather than an error. Can you imagine what life would be like if we adopted this attitude? What if, instead of seeing mistakes, we saw opportunities? This takes away the stress of feeling like we might make the wrong decision. And now, the idea of yes and does not mean that we unconditionally agree with everything that is said, or even that we have to be happy about everything that happens. Rather, the yes means that we acknowledge and respect what has been said or created, and the and means that we build upon it constructively. It means accepting what occurs and responding graciously. It means keeping an open mind about the gifts that we are given. Instead of denying situations, we can ask the question, how can I use this for good? How can other people and I learn from this experience? This is the kind of thinking that leads to growth and progress. Finally, number 3, it's not about you. The worst improv scenes are the ones where each person is out to make themselves look good as an individual. Conversely, the best ones are where each person is trying to make everyone else look good, even if it means only playing a supporting role. In this case, everyone is working towards the same goal: having fun, making the audience laugh, and ensuring that people don't regret taking their first date to a comedy show. So, what does this mean for us? It means listening. It means supporting. It means selflessness and self-sacrifice to achieve a goal greater than ourselves. And sometimes the most supportive thing we can do is to make a choice or to yes and. But we can't know how to best support our fellow humans if we are so wrapped up in advancing our own interests and glorifying ourselves. I cannot say what that greater goal is for each of us, but I am confident that each of us will continue to make significant positive contributions to this world after we leave Rice. Even if it is as simple as showing kindness to a stranger, it is still deeply important. We must never believe the lie that life is all about us. So, what am I saying? As life beyond Rice continues, we will encounter endless forks in the road, most of which will be slightly more significant than, at which servery should I eat today? And this brings me to my final quote, by a legitimate author this time, Dr. Seuss. Life's too short to wake up with regrets. So love the people who treat you right, forgive the ones that don't, and believe that everything happens for a reason. If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said it'd be easy. They just promised it would be worth it. Thank you, and may God bless the Rice University class of 2016.